In this video, we're going to cover HTML tables. So typically we use tables if we want to work with tabular data. The example I'm going to use is going to actually list students' name, major, and year in school. People used to design websites with tables, and this is something we typically want to avoid. With the use of HTML and CSS, we make much better SEO-friendly sites as opposed to just creating a whole site with tables. So let's go ahead right above the link on our page, make a little space, and I'm going to walk through just creating a table. So first we're going to just open up a table tag, and then let's make sure we close that right after. And then within the table tag, I'm going to add some different elements that are going to create cells for our table. First we're going to start is going to be a TR tag. Let me close that. TR stands for table row. Then within the table rows, we're going to add our table data. So TD stands for table data. And let me start that and then close that right here. And within each one of these, I can start to add the data for each of my rows. So we'll say, like I said, I want to have a table with students' names, years, and majors. So go ahead and add a name, Ben. And to kind of speed up the process, I'm going to do a little bit of copy and pasting. So table data, we'll say Ben, and then we'll say year is going to be freshman, and then major, communications. So what I have right now is just a basic start to our table. We have a table row with some table data, so let me save that, refresh, and you can see it's kind of listed right here. We don't have borders on the table yet, so you can actually see the breakout, but if we just look at it, we can see that there is a space between Ben, year, and then major. So let me just add a little bit more, and then we'll add a border so we can see some of the edges. Once again, to speed up the process, I'm going to copy out this whole table row and change a little bit of the data. So name, we'll add a different name, we'll say Joe. Year in school is going to be junior. And major, we'll say art. Save that out. Now just for our example, I'm going to add a border so we can start to see what our table looks like a little bit more. So to add that, I'm just going to go right up here to the top table tag, say border equals, and just for this I'm going to say 1. Save that, and we'll refresh our page again. And now you can see we do have two distinct rows with name, year, and major. Of course, in these table rows, I could copy and paste this all day and just have a huge table if I wanted to. And if I want to extend horizontally, I could just add in more table data for each one of these table rows. A couple other quick things I want to show you. Obviously, we have name, major, and year, but if I don't have a header to show that, people aren't going to know what all that stuff is actually means. So to add in a table header works much the same way as adding in the table data. We'll start with a table row again, right above our table data, close that off. And then in between that, slightly different tag, it's going to be TH for table header. So this one I'll say name, close that table header. Table header. And then to speed up the process, let me just do a little bit of copy and paste. And we'll just add in major, year, and major. Fresh. You can see that by adding the table header, it does make those bold by default. So it clearly identifies to the viewer that that is the header. A couple other things we can add. We can style out these tables. And one thing you probably noticed, this table border doesn't look that great. Standard HTML table borders don't look that good. So if we and we will style this something similar to this in the future, we will just go ahead and style that with CSS. But one thing I can do just for the moment is just add in a border width, not a border width, but just a width of the table, and we'll call that by saying style, open up our quotes and say width, colon, and we'll just say for this 250 pixels. Refresh, a little bit wider, just to show you visually what that would look like. I can just make it 400 pixels. There you go. So that's just a basic intro to HTML tables. Big things to pay attention to is that we contain all the elements within a table, table tags, and then we delineate the table row, and then table headers TH, and then table data is TD.